best trade of the year. Hi, it's Charlie giving you Saturday's video. Now, I'm going to run through, it's quite interesting actually, looking at the euro dollar here, because predominantly most of my trading is done on the euro dollar. In fact, I'm doing the challenge account update this coming Tuesday, the 12th of December. So here live on YouTube. So do look out for that. That's live on YouTube on Tuesday at 7 p.m. GMT. Now, as far as the Euro's concerned this year, you can sort of get a perspective of what's gone on here. So if we take it from the early part of the year, we had a little bit of a run up here. I was involved in some of this overall, talking about swing trading here. Then was long. Took me a while to get into these long here, but I was in a long here, which you'd say, oh, that was a nice trade, Charlie. Well, actually, I'm going to go through all this properly on Tuesday evening, but actually, it didn't quite hit my first target. It was literally a few pips away from my first target, rolled over. Anyway, got trading stopped out. Then was long again down here. And was in a great run all the way up here. Did bank some profits up in this zone up here, and then it trailed me out. I had a target just a little bit higher. So although this was a really good trade, much like this one was number one and number two here, these are the ones that I'd planned out, so to speak, for the year within all the analysis that I do. But the irony was, the best trade of the year for me was actually a trade here on the short side. So I'd shorted just about here, just above 1010. After the price had rolled over, there was obviously there were technical reasons why I shorted on multiple time frames, and then held it down to my final exit was actually at around about 106. So that actually, and there were add-ins along the way, so it compounds the result. So that trade there was actually, in the end, in monetary terms, was a better trade than this one here and this one here. So in these key swings. And the point I want to make here is that sometimes you're taking trades, and even if you're following a mechanical approach, there'll be some trade setups that come along. You think, yeah, that one's going to work. Even if you're trading a mechanical, systemized approach, and you think, oh yeah, that one looks really good or whatever. And then those are the ones that don't work out, and the ones that don't look that great for whatever reason, or it may not be that they don't even look great. It might just be the news generally, the fundamentals out there at that time, whether it's just on the day, if you're a short-term trader, the fundamentals seem to be, there might be news reports which seem to be going against your trade and or your trade setup, and then you have to take your trade setup or whatever. And so for whatever reason, sometimes a trade just looks like it's not going to work out. And so often it's the case that those are the ones that actually, or the ones that work out, or the ones that in your pit of your stomach, you're thinking, yeah, this one probably isn't going to work out. I've got to take it. It's a valid trade setup, but for whatever reason, whether it's, like I said, the macro that's going on, the market sentiment, or just the pattern itself, you're uneasy about. And then those ones are the ones that end up playing out. And that was a little bit like this trade back here, like I said. So it wasn't that it wasn't a decent setup, hence why I took the trade, but I was initially looking at this trade thinking this will be a vanilla trade. So what I mean by a vanilla trade is just what it is. Fairly bland, fairly neutral as flavors go. So I wasn't expecting it to be anything that much. But then as the trade started to progress, there were some add-in opportunities along the way, which meant that what started out as a vanilla, a standard sort of entry, got to build on the entry, and as it came down, then it ended up being a reasonable trade. It was only 400 pips, but actually because of the add-ins, it ended up being my best trade of the year. And yet I never would have said that. If you'd have said to me, which way, on what side of the market do you think is going to be your best trade of the year, then I would have thought it was going to be to the upside for the euro, because this one was having a great run right the way up into the 112s. Like I said, banked some up there and was expecting it to maybe pull back a little bit and then probably then make another new high. The euro at that point had only done 700 odd pips range for the year at that point. Its average range is 1600 pips. So in fact, the euro's range has massively underperformed this year because, like I said, it's normally 1600 pips, and even now I think it's only about 828 pips or something like that for the year. So it's about half of its normal historical average ranges. So there were some things that materialized this year that just you would have thought, okay, it's going to break its range and carry on, with all of that. So there you go. So it's a little bit about sometimes just your expectations towards trades. What you think is going to be a great trade sometimes aren't, and the trades that you think are just going to be a standard trade, or sometimes you think, oh, I've got to take this trade, but I think it's probably going to stop me out, and they end up being a really good trade. And so yeah, it just goes to show you never really know. So you just have to execute when you've got your trade setups coming along. Then you just have to execute, because you never really know which ones are going to be the right ones. And certainly upon reflection for this year, certainly I never would have thought that being on a short side euro trade, I mean, I will trade on either side of the market, but I didn't expect that one to be my best trade of the year. Anyway, we'll cover all of that off in a bit more detail on Tuesday night's live coverage here on YouTube.